disappeared.
Oh, did he?
Well, yeah, I tried to do a background picture like what I'm doing, and it's he's basically blended in the background.
Well, I mean, shit, we could make fun of him then.
Do it. I'll make fun of him. I'm doing.
You know, let's make fun of him. All right, everybody. I'm Dustin. I'm the owner of TrackDaz. I got a couple of the TrackDaz crew on. We have Matt Cavarles and we have Big Chili. So what's up, fellas?
How's it going?
Doing good. Doing good.
You know, I figured we'd go live and talk about riding motorbikes, you know, rather than arguing on the internet, on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not, you know, let's roast, you know, let's not roast people. Let's roast tires, you know, like get off Facebook, get on a motorcycle.
I don't know. I'm all right with roasting a pig or something.
Oh, that's always fun too. But you might offend the vegans, you know.
Just keep the political stuff out of it.
That's right.
Is it really not? Is it really against veganism if you're eating things that eat vegan style?
Probably not, you know, because in a way, doesn't that make you partially vegan? Because down the feeding chain, you know, and you're eating what vegetarians eat or vegans eat.
I see Chili's trying unsuccessfully again to do the virtual background thing. So
yeah, no, I can do the virtual background thing. See?
No,
it's something over my camera. Hey, look at that! I'm back in San Francisco. F that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So, you know, the thing is that the reason why we're on here is, you know, we haven't been to the track in a minute, right? Like it's been a while. It's been over a month, dude. It's the longest time. It's the longest time since the Rona lockdown that we've been away from the track, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a few back-to-back track days with Laguna and, you know, Laguna a couple of times, then Buttonwillow. You know, it was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, and then at the end of September, we're gonna go back to Chuckwalla, which we haven't been there since May. Is that right? May?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So it's like,
yeah, it's been forever.
It seems like it's been forever, you know? But, you know, the reason for the discussion really is to, you know, do we treat things differently when we're, oh, look, it's Rob. Oh, isn't that nice? Do we treat things differently when, you know, what's our plan or whatever when we go to the track and we haven't been there in a while? Oh, hi, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
What's up, Rob?
Hey.
Got that like interesting look on his face.
Yeah, I'm like trying to figure out what I'm pressing.
Yeah, so me personally, you know, we're gonna be at Buttonwillow on the 14th, and you know, it's been a month since we've been out on the track at all, or over a month, right? You know, my deal is like I'll go and kind of roll the corners and figure out where my markers are again, maybe pick my eyes up a little bit before I start picking up the pace and ripping, you know. I don't like roll out the first session and try to be exactly the same pace I was the last time we were there. Does that sound like it?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you don't want to blow your load like the first session, you know, going balls out.
Pick a bar list to go there.
Yeah, you gotta take it easy, get back into the groove of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's you know, one of the things I noticed even like the top guys, right? Like you know, a month ago or whatever, I got the pleasure of being on the track with Cam and Jake and those guys, and you know, even Cam, when he rolls out on track, he doesn't go full boogie from the jump. Like he kind of rolls out and just kind of takes it easy. It's pretty cool. And we talked about it and he's just like, yeah, that's just how I do it. So, but you know, a couple other things too. I mean, you know, having time off, it gives you time to put new brake pads on. Oh, look at that. It's LG. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So, you know, give us time to change brake pads or whatever it is. You know, the 2-up sled definitely needed front and rear brakes. We even swapped the rotor on that thing because that's one of the few bikes I actually have to use the rear brake on when we're riding. When I've got a passenger, dude, you're trying to slow down from like 130 down to like whatever. It's like I'm throwing out the anchor trying to get that thing stopped.
Well, how about this question? Considering, you're throwing two people on a bike, granted it's powerful. Now, probably keep this person anonymous. Like, what would you say was the biggest estimated weight person you gave a 2-up to?
I know who you're probably thinking of, but I think the biggest person was like 280, I think.
Gil, darn it.
Gil, dude.
Gil.
I think Gil is watching his novella.
I know, right?
Gil, turn off whatever you're watching. Mute it.
What?
Mute. You can hear your TV, dude.
Oh, you could?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me hang on. Let me.
There you go.
Oh,
Thank you, Dustin.
Yes.
Gil was watching his novellas, huh?
It was novellas, dude.
Well, you're hoping it's novellas, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So one of the things I threw it out there that we're going to do this, and one of the things is Superbike Jake out of Fresno area. That dude was like all about LGB and how he likes the humor and that he adds to the riders meeting. So, Jeff, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, it's actually a good exercise because it's like, it's topics that are track related, but there's not a lot of opportunity to do comedy. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, it's like I do it as a hobby. I don't have any like aspirations for it or whatever. It was just fun. I like doing it for different charitable causes and stuff like that. So that's kind of really the extent of my comedy career. But being able, sometimes you don't know in life, like why you do certain things or why you're blessed with certain things. And it's like when I go to a track day and I do a meeting and I know that I can separate our club a little bit more than it's already separated because we already got an awesome staff. We already got a great group of guys. Whatever we can do extra that we always do. Rob does a great job with the meetings. Gil has just been there since the beginning. I just love seeing all the guys. It's really, you don't really see that very often, how the staff really enjoys each other,
Yeah,
really,
we're actually friends, like for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like I wanted to go to Let's Ride this weekend, and D called and got me the free pass for Let's Ride, and and I was just like, I'm good, dude. I'm not driving all the way to go to Let's Ride. It was weird. I don't know what happened. It just took the wind out of my sails. I had other things going.
I will tell you this, like, let's just go back a little bit. We talk about like doing upgrades and stuff, and I know that that Jeff recently got a little bit of Olin's bling on his Yamaha MT10, right? Like, tell us about that, dude. Like,
who
really,
I got to tell you, man, the person that really got me looking at MT10 are two people. Obviously, watching Dustin do 2-ups and watching people in those groups struggle keeping up with them doing 2-ups, and I'm watching people wanting to go, why don't you calm down? Don't let the 2-up get you fucked up. Right. And then and I'm trying to, and then Rob, man, seeing Rob Escalante, man, his I was looking at his, I was like, that thing's
I love
pretty,
that thing, man.
dude. And I was like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna age gracefully, dude. And I said, I'm not gonna stop riding on the track, but dude, I'm okay being an old ass motherfucker, dude. But I'm gonna go on this bike, and I was oh, dude, so I said, I'm okay, dude. I'm okay with it, right? Hey, Gil, but a good looking old motherfucker, right? Let him know, chill. Let him know. God damn it. No, but the reality is, dude, that bike feels comfortable, dude. That is an amazing motorcycle. I don't care what anybody says. No doubt that when you're riding an R1, you're in that hyper position. You look badass when you're riding an R6. But you know who I got to give props to is Matt, dude. Matt doesn't know this, but I was behind him on the black R1 at Chuckwalla, and he was working with a couple people, and he was on the MT7. And I was watching Matt put people through the fucking paces on that MT7.
Are you
dude.
sure that was Matt and not his wife, Sophia?
That was Matt, dude. I was like, Matt was hauling ass on that bike, dude. I was like, ooh. And you know me, I was.
That had to have been Sophia.
Maybe, yeah.
No, Matt, look,
definitely
you can tell
me.
Matt was, you could tell Matt was racing 250s because it was just the corner speed was amazing, and he was doing it on the stock bike. So it was awesome. It's awesome to see that we're all OGs in our club. But really going back to your original question, Dustin, not getting too far off topic, just being able to separate our clubs and make it better and being a part of the team is really what it's all about. And if that's what I bring to the table, that's what I'm going to bring to the table.
Right on.
Well,
right on.
Jeff, quick, were you there? Like, maybe were you behind me? And maybe I was on the MTO7 where someone decided to like exit last minute. And like,
well, you remember I came and I told you about that, dude. I was like, dude, the guy literally, you could see Matt going and the guy just exits the track. I was like, fucking Matt had to go into the exit and come. Oh, dude, it was sick, dude.
Yeah. So like, little safety reminder. It's like, if you're going to exit the track, like if it's too late, no, like don't just exit last minute, do that extra lap, signal properly time it and exit. Not last minute. Almost pushed me off. Oh my gosh. Oh, he did push me off. I had to come back off.
He pushed you off, dude.
Yeah.
It was brutal. When I watched that, I was like, oh shit. Because you're on the school bikes, man. That's
yeah. And don't wreck the goddamn bikes.
And don't crash the school bikes.
Exactly.
Reminder, guys, this is public and live.
Oh, we live? Oh, damn.
Don't wreck the damn
I would like to publicly apologize. I am sorry. I thought this was a private session. This is not the way people talk.
Live, but it's awesome. Oh, goodness. Oh my God, for real.
private session.
So, one of the things I wanted to bring up is Rob, I think last weekend did some kind of training course or something like that on his MT10. And
Yes.
there is some footage. I could do a screen share and show everybody.
Please do
it.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, do it.
Bring
I don't think I saw it.
Is
I'd probably
that where he
like
got
to see
he
this.
finally got his street license or what?
Let me dig it up real quick and I'll do a screen share. Hang on, and talk amongst yourselves on that.
Okay, Rob.
Well, on the bright side,
stage.
Jeff, the MT10s are super, super bulletproof. I really dropped the damn thing like 3 times, and not a single mark, scratch, nick, nothing. Like, I don't know, but the French lighters did a great job. The bike never touched the ground. I mean, it was just like this much off the ground, and I just picked it up like nothing, and it was just fine. Not a scratch. Like, it has a weird shape where it won't.
I would like to take
ground.
notes on the frame sliders used, please. Hold on, go ahead.
Okay, stand by, Jeff. Bear with me briefly while I share this.
Share it. Share the chismet.
And bye for chismet.
Yeah.
Smart.
So here we go. Should we go full screen on that?
Oh, go full
Yeah.
retard. Go
Oh,
full
there you
speed.
go.
There you go.
On this one.
You guys watching this?
Yes.
There goes Rob. The
There's
brave.
Rob
And there's
working on his license.
Oh yeah.
No, that's
Like,
not.
oh yeah, I'm
That's
cool. I'm
proper
cool.
speed in the
Oh,
pits,
let's go.
5 miles an hour,
Right.
idling in first gear.
Okay, one more time. Well,
Oh, a little overconfident there, buddy.
yeah. So
Jeez.
that's you said you did that 3 times, dude?
Nah, basically what it was is honestly it's an
What had
amazing
happened
class.
was
It's taught by the Hawthorne Police Department, and it's called Right to Live, and it was implemented because a couple of their units sadly passed away while during service, and they came out with a set of drills and exercises, not just for them, but they're also trying to pass it on to street riders because they also don't want to have us as casualties, or like, I mean, they're on the road all day long and they don't want like motorcyclists to be in danger. And they're teaching you how to do emergency braking, evasive maneuvers, and a lot of stuff like is also what they do. I mean, these guys, before getting on the street, like to work, they do a lot of drills and stuff, and then they go to work. So you learn a lot. I mean, also you have to kind of like rewire yourself, because the way I was doing that drill is quite the opposite of what you're used to. You know, you used to like come at your speed, adjust it, take a turn on a set speed, and then you roll off the turn like giving gas. On this particular exercise was quite the opposite. You are not using front brakes at all. You're just grazing the rear brake, keeping the clutch on the engaging point, and basically is almost like idle, but you have to bring up the RPMs a little bit to play with that dragging point on the clutch, and you have to enter the turn at speed, accelerating, which is quite confusing if you're used to do the opposite. Anyway, you basically, I did it right the 2 first times. And then as soon as I dropped the RPMs a little bit, I just felt the front end tucking in and just down I went. It was a lot of fun. I mean, once you drop your bike, you know, just get over it. I mean, you just pick it up and keep on doing it until you just like pass it. So I highly recommend it. I mean, on this sport, I mean, there's not such thing as, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. I mean, take as many training courses as you can, and go practice and go to the track and go to a parking lot. I mean, just take advantage, you know, and spend time on the saddle.
Well, it's funny you mentioned, like, I'm glad you brought that up, Rob, because a friend of mine actually messaged me saying, like, actually, not just that police department's doing it, but the Coronado Police Department's doing it as well.
Yeah,
so it's good that it's spreading around.
Continue to chat. I gotta go look at something apparently.
Look at something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Take a dump.
Yeah, that's what they call it now. Look at something.
Yeah, he's going doo-doo. That's what he's
Now
doing
we can all talk about him.
Right.
Oh, let's talk shit about him.
Yeah.
40 later.
Hey, did I tell
What
you
happened
I'm
to you,
Dustin
Gil? They
Coiner
kick you out of the
and
living room or
I have
what?
TrackDaz. My name's Dustin. Glad to meet me.
What are you doing? Are you outside, Gil? You just chilling out in the backyard?
Yeah, man. I just came outside. It's not too hot right now. It's about, maybe low 80s. Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah, my cat wants to come out, man. So that cat is afraid of everything, man, including her own shadow. And she just sketches out.
I think they kicked you out because we were too loud for your novellas.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Gil,
so
go
we
to the
think it's
backyard.
novellas.
Rob figured it out. Jesus Christ, man.
Yep.
Dang.
Oh, that's Moxie right there.
You got a lot of, that's Moxie. You got a lot of that class in, Rob? You recommend it or?
Oh, absolutely. And it's quite booked. We were about 30 people. They separate you, they split you into 3 groups, and each group goes to a certain area to start with a certain drill. And from there, you keep on rotating. And it takes from 8 to 4 p.m. I mean, all day long riding. And they provide like donuts and a bunch of pizza at noon. And
donuts.
Even MSF courses are only half day.
Yeah.
8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
The MSF is really, really, really basic. I mean, these guys go and work their asses off to make sure that you are doing correctly. They even use their radar to check your speed, how much you modulate the throttle. And they're like, dude, you're doing you have to do this drill at 25 miles per hour. And if you're about to slow down, they tell you, go back up and do it at 30 miles per hour. You have like a 1 mile difference to do it right? And they really put a lot of emphasis to make sure that you're doing good and that you feel safe. And there were a lot of new riders, and that's important. I mean, you just want to have new riders come in, enjoying their motorcycles, eventually going to the racetrack, come riding with us, and feel safe.
I think a lot of the opportunities for a new rider that are around now are that
oh my God, yes. Like when I started riding, there was like nothing, like no information out there. It was very difficult.
The unfortunate thing too is that you got guys that have friends who ride, who haven't taken a class, haven't done much in prepping to start riding, so they jump on a new R6, new R1 and have at it, and nowadays you have a couple of programs like what you just did, and that's definitely something a plus, man. It's a shame to see so much stuff going on like we all have the many years we've been doing this. It hasn't changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like every weekend somebody's like having on Monday it's like RIP so and so from and they they ended up
just out of curiosity just out of curiosity, and I want to hear from each of you, like how many people do you know that died on a motorcycle?
Wow.
Brother, I lost count, man.
Yeah,
man,
hot, man.
Some years, right?
I lost a lot of really close friends in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to give it a rough estimate, Rob, what would you say?
At least 5 on top of my head.
What about you, Chill?
Yeah, too many funerals, man. Probably like 7, 8, almost even 10 probably. I know, I'm sure I'm forgetting a few of them.
Yeah.
You know? Like we used to go out in the canyons all the time and be, seeing guys off the side of the road, like looking down the canyon where their bike is or where one of their buddies went, and stuff like that. So it's just not worth it anymore. I haven't ridden on the street since 2011.
What about you, Gil?
I like 15, man.
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
A lot.
Oh, dude, Gil's been around since the invention of the motorcycle, man.
Almost like Dustin, he's not far from me, man. I've been around a lot, but still, dude, it just, it tallies up, dude. And the sad part is, like, we have all become somewhat not callous to it, but just kind of, okay, another weekend. Which is, I mean, dude, Scotty from OC.
Scotty Hatari, dude.
I mean, I'm thinking before Scotty, man, like, remember that dude with the valve
Tony
bike or whatever?
The MGO bike?
Yeah. And it's like, I remember telling that dude that morning, like, hey, bro, like, your exhaust is kind of moving around. He's like, don't worry about it. It's been like that forever. And it's like, we're kind of doing like self-tech with each other in the morning, and he didn't listen. And, that loose exhaust ended up levering his rear wheel, and that's all she wrote.
Into the guardrail.
That was like 20-some years ago.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're old, by the way, just so you know. Like,
what about you, Matt?
You see, it says,
dude,
some of us don't have hair no more.
Right?
What about you, Matt?
Yeah. So for me, I'd say about 5, and the last one hit really hard for me because he was actually like a coworker, and like the company I was working at the time, like he just got hired, and I didn't know who he was, but apparently like he knew who I was, and then he's like, yeah, I've heard of your name, thrown out. I've done, track days here and there. And I'm like, not my thing, but I love the streets. I'm like, dude, it's like, come on, man. Like, save it for the track. Let's try to get you out there. And like, I was trying to like, even encourage him to like come out with me. And then he went out for a canyon ride and actually died. And then, he just literally got like hired. And then, I hear the news, like, over the week, like when I come into work, like Monday morning, like, oh man, like he passed on Highway 94. I'm like, shoot, man, we were talking about like going to the track, and now he's gone, it's like, it's weird, like, what you were saying, Gil, about like, I guess it, once you go through enough of them, you kind of become callous to it, but I haven't obviously known about what you said, 15, was it, Gil, that you said?
Yeah.
For me, it's about like 5, but the last one was like a coworker and someone that knew me, and it's like, ooh, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
The track is just a safer place to play, dude. Like, that's
Absolutely.
why we all that money on those ambulances and stuff, man. And we're all going the same direction.
Yes.
Like, come on, man.
We can all see each other. He is over there.
To act a fool. If you want to do that, you can ride with those other guys.
And we even know as track days, I think that's the one thing that I like about the maturity of the group is we realize that even though we're on the track, that doesn't take the element of danger away from it, right? Obviously, you're not dealing with frogs and rabbits and whatever the hell, but
you said
when you go out there, right? I don't know where
just
I'm
call it
at.
out, gringos, man.
All those suicide squirrels up in GMR.
Ask Rocha about that. Ask Rocha about that.
Laguna. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Is that?
The suicide chipmunks at Laguna.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Oh,
those things are huge.
Yes.
Coming out of turn 4, there was like little tufts of fur.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well,
dude.
we had to actually stop and go clear one off the track, right? So Dustin and I went out in the crash truck and I went to go clear it off the racetrack. So it was already dead. So I kicked it, right? And Dustin's like, "You're a dick, dude. You just kicked the animal, man." I was like, "Dude, it's dead. I gotta get it out. I'm not gonna pick it up or touch it."
He's dead. Didn't feel it.
I don't recall any of that, but
whatever, dude.
Oh my God. Dude, McGuire and I went out. He's in front of me and I'm asking him, to tow me around. First coming off, man, going into 3. This dude comes in from like the left. No, I'm going right. No, I'm going left. And we're both like, what the? cracking it up, man. But suicide squirrels, man.
Yeah, we were at Button Willow. Ludwig and I were at Button Willow with I can't remember which track day company. I think it was with Carter's maybe. But we were there and we were talking to Josh Hayes, and he was talking about brake markers and stuff. And apparently one of the Motor America tracks he was racing at, he told Melissa that he was using a dead squirrel as a brake marker.
Braking mark.
And he's like, over the course of the weekend, eventually it was just a little like blood spot or whatever.
Oh, damn.
But it didn't move. It stood there.
So funny. Anyway.
Well, hey, Dustin, maybe for the next Laguna Seca shirts, where you have like those 3 items, maybe avoided suicide squirrels.
Oh,
with a bullseye on it.
I'll let Ludwig know about that because he's the one.
Or suicide squad, suicide squirrels.
Yeah, dude, I like it.
Ludwig is quite creative.
Yeah, he's definitely the creative type for sure.
Is everybody on the call? Is everybody going to be there on the 14th?
Yeah, you guys.
I can't make it.
What?
I'm gonna try.
Well, you're going. You're your own boss now, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Nice.
You can work from the track if you want to.
I can work.
Hey, I have to comment on the backgrounds of everyone's. The one that wins the prize is freaking Matt's almost looping that art. Look at that, man. He almost
So nice. Put my
dude, that looks like a gill wheelie right there, dude.
That's so bad.
Oh man.
He probably spent half a day trying to set that up, make sure he's in the middle, everything, and then here you go.
Dude, that's Photoshop at its best, man.
Matt, when we sorted the photos from the last event weekend, all of Matt's photos, let's just say Matt had like 75 photos from the entire weekend. 60 of them were his on the wheelie ball.
Hey, 1 o'clock, dude. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock was the wheelie bump photos.
Oh my, that's right. Hey, speaking of photos real quick, this past weekend I was out at Auto Club chatting it up with some people, and Dustin, I was able to kick it with Brian from Cali. He was there.
Oh, no way.
Dude, we were talking about you so much, man.
Oh, my God.
Well, dude, we were just laughing our butts off. It's like the best thing to go and just mosey around the track. And he remembered situations at Willow, at Streets, and him racing, and it is something else, man. This community is beyond, like, just for myself, it really, really does just like bring me back up. You know what I mean? Like shitty week, shitty days, whatever. And over there, it's just like big old breath of fresh air, man. That's it.
Yes, dude. Speaking of that, way back stuff, like my next door neighbor is selling his house, and he had a photographer come by yesterday to take pictures of his house. I shit you not, the photographer was Clint Ermey.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Dude. Yeah, and it's like, when I introduced him to my neighbor is like the crazy Semper Fi dude, like retired Marine guy, right? And it's like, hey man, just so you know, the guy taking photos of your house, you want to know who his dad is? Right? And it's like, dude, he became. He
lost his shit.
Do you remember how Marcus Chamberlain used to act around?
Yes.
Oh, Starfucker.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, it's Neil Hodgson. It was like that.
Really?
Like,
oh, I bet.
Oh, he's like, oh really? Your father's is Arlie Ermey, the gunny? Oh, I mean, it was hilarious. But yeah, it's a small world,
Yep.
Yep. It is.
How's the San Diego area, man?
It's
guys,
nice.
Matt?
It's
Well,
fucking
I mean,
hot.
yeah, well, I live in the outskirts of San Diego called Ramona, and it's like hot and humid.
Ooh,
But
hot out there.
LGB is in San Diego too. You're in what, Oceanside or Carlsbad?
Yeah, I'm in Oceanside. I just did a gig on Sunday with my rock band. Okay, so I'm playing, Def Leppard, AC/DC, Black Sabbath, all that, right? And of course, everybody's there is just looking at me like, the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? What is this? You know? And you know, it's kind of funny with all the shit going on in the world right now. You know, it's like I love being in that little spot, you know, because here's this black dude playing this rock stuff, you know. So everybody comes in, everybody's all tight because the world's just in shambles, you know. And then they look at me and they don't know how to take me because I'm a black drummer playing rock music. And then by the end, we're all like hugging and shit. Come over here, let me give you a COVID-19 hug, bitch. Come on. It's real, you know. It's kind of cool, you know. It's weird because when you start to realize that humanity is still there, you don't have to get all our stuff in there because no matter what, I have yet really to have a hostile situation, no matter how hostile my environment's. And let me tell you, when you play at a biker bar and you play rock and you're the only black dude there, if there's going to be hostility, that's going to be it right there, dude. And you see these biker dudes, man, they're like, dude, you killed it, bro. You killed it, you know. Fun, dude. So it was a good day. Oh, dude, we were playing Simple Man. I was killing Simple Man because I listened to that song. I was killing Simple Man, dude.
Dude, you should walk into one of those gigs all thugged out, you know, all like thug life shit, and then just start rocking like you do, Dan. I mean, Dustin and I had the pleasure of seeing you in action, bro, and to see you actually play the drums, rap, do all the rock stuff that you do is dude, amazing.
I basically hate him. You know,
he's too damn talented, man.
He's one of those dudes that's like good at everything.
He can do everything, bro.
He's you know, when he's a cyclist, when he's on, he's really on. When he's riding motorbikes, the dude rides like a rock star. And he's a musician and a stand-up
and a comedian too.
Dude, like,
yes,
I pretty much hate him.
Jeffrey has like a lot of channels and like high definition on each one of them. Like he's really good.
Yeah, like almost everyone goes with 11.
I can barely speak English and ride motorbikes, kind of. Like, you know?
Jeffrey.
I hate Jack. But hey, I got a question from Superbike Jake. I don't know if you guys recognize Superbike
Jake.
Jake is the sort of big fella that rides the R1.
Jake is awesome.
It's a 2015 R1. And Jake wants to know what's the best advice that you could give somebody that wants to get their foot in the door to go racing?
Oh, dude.
Oh, I think we should do like a round robin, like everyone gives their piece of advice, you know, that'd be good.
You know, my thing is like, Jake, dude, sign up for a new racer school and go racing. I mean, it's, you know, obviously you got to do some prep work and all of that and fill out a bunch of paperwork and, you know, spend a little bit of money, but yeah, sign up for new racer school. That's like a good first step. You've been riding the track for a minute now. So, I mean, yeah, that's my take on it. What do you guys think?
I would say, like, don't go balls out, like, you know, spending so much money with like, you know, this is the anti-Dustin, you know, like on like trick parts, this and that, you know. It's more of like, you know, get your feet wet, you know, do what you need to do to get the bike teched. Make sure, you know, it's in mechanically good working order, and just make sure that you're able to do it and be able to sustain doing it, because the average, like, what was it, 2 years is the average time frame that a club?
It's 3, right? Because it's like you have to account for the track day year or 2, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the rate of attrition is average of 3 years. It's 1 year to be a track day guy, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to go racing. And then you race as an amateur 1 year, and you may even win. I mean, you may come out swinging and think you're something. And then you go racing as an expert the following year, and you're
like, wow, these people ahead of me.
I'm spending all this money, and then you start being like an accountant, looking at your bank account and wondering where all your money went. And then you're like, why am I doing this?
And then you just stick to track days after that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of riders don't. They, you know, a lot of riders, they don't even do that. They just quit the sport entirely.
And like that's the problem too, is because like this sport, you know, it's kind of, you know, two sides of the same coin, because without, like, if you go balls out like financially and you know, check out because you made yourself bankrupt, well then whether it's a track day organization or even racing, you don't have, like, when you lose that flux of racers, then eventually the orgs like racing orgs or track day orgs go out of business because, you know, we need riders. So it's one of those things where don't like, make sure you're able to sustain yourself. So that way the track day organizations and even the race orgs can sustain and keep running. That's my advice. But Chili, I guess you're the next one.
Laying down right there.
I think you'll call that to have a motorcycle budget on the side and to keep in mind all the expenses. I mean, motorcycles and motorcycling, riding, racing is not cheap. If you want to do it right, at least to keep on something that, I mean, all the wearables, your chain, your sprocket, brake pads, you know, servicing, make sure you have a good master cylinder, all those little things that might compromise your safety. You don't want to just overlook them and keep your bike serviced. There's a lot of people who get involved into it. They don't know how to work on their motorcycle, and they also spend a lot of money into taking their motorcycle to a shop, and the motorcycle stays there and they don't have enough time to practice. I mean, or God forbid you wreck your bike and you don't have money to send it to the shop to fix it because you don't know how to work on your bike. I mean, there's a lot of variables out there. And like Matt was saying, if you go balls out, you put all leans and all, like, you know, all the nicest stuff, and you might wreck your bike on your first, you know, race. You may want to think about it and do a more friendly approach, like Matt said, just to get your feet wet and see how it feels like and what it's all about, and go from there.
I'm curious Jeff's take, because Jeff's OG like me, kind of, you know, like we kind of came up together 20 years ago. What's your take on getting your feet wet racing?
You know, we all have varying opinions, and I think they're all valid. I think for me, you know, because I think that mostly if you're racing, that means you have a competitive nature, right? So the first thing you have to acknowledge is the reason that you're racing is because you're competitive and you want to see how you line up against other people. If that's the case, it is better for you to do more track days and postpone going to a new racer school prematurely than it is for you just to jump into a new racer school because you had a couple of track days where you were in B group and you passed a couple people real nice, because there's nothing more humbling. There's nothing more humbling than lining up on a race grid and dudes are just lighting you, right? So I know for me, before I even did my first race, I had probably done at least 30 track days with Dustin alone. I started riding track days with Dustin in the year 2000. My first race wasn't until like 2003 or something like that, because I remember being at Dustin's track day, and I think this is the one humbling thing that I'll leave you with. I remember being at Dustin's track day and Eric Bostrom showed up. Now this is like, to me, this is like, we were still starstruck at this time. We're not starstruck anymore because we've seen it all. Somebody comes to our track day, I don't care if it's a World Superbike guy, I don't care if it's, you know, any of the, you know, the moto guys. We're like, hey, what's up, dude? We might just give them a double, what's up, dude, and keep doing tech. You know, we don't care, right? Yeah. But back in the day, you know, here I am watching Eric Bostrom on TV all the time, and then all of a sudden he's at Dustin's track day. I'm like, no way. So long story short, I'm riding in A group, dude. I'm on my Suzuki Gixxer 2000 Bumblebee leathers, Bumblebee bike, riding on Riverside, dude, doing a brisk 89 miles an hour, dude. Dude, and when I watched Eric Bostrom come around me in that Riverside corner, dude, I swear to God, dude, I might as well have been on the pocket bike. That's it. So you know what? I would have never wanted to. I was glad that Eric Bostrom humbled me that much, because I knew at that point, you are not anywhere near good enough to put a number plate on your bike, dude. You just keep riding and do what you do, and maybe one day we'll talk about it. But I don't want to discourage people, because I know that some people go into it for different reasons. So I want to honor that, because some people don't care if they win or lose. They just like the whole racing atmosphere. I'm not really built that way. I'm not really built where I want to go there and spend thousands of dollars to be the last person. Nah, dude, I want to be in the top 5. And if I can't be in the top 5, I'm not buying $300 worth of tires. It's not going to happen.
See, I don't know. The racing for me, it's kind of evolved up and down.
You're 3/4 retarded, dude.
Okay.
That's dude, racers in general.
Here's the thing. No. Here's the thing about Dustin. Dustin will saw off your fucking front end to get in front of your ass. Whereas the rest of us have common sense to, okay, maybe I'll wait. I'll try and buy this guy a little safe. Racing turns on and Dustin's like, fuck you, I'm stuffing your ass.
No, I don't have common sense either. I've gotten.
I gotta work on Monday. Fuck that shit. That's why I never fucking excelled at racing, because it's like I raced, but again, it's like, dude, I got to work on Monday, man. So I had to chill out,
dude. Like I think racing is fun. I mean,
it is.
The reality is, dude. Like Jeff, we're old, dude.
Yeah,
like no matter what,
fun.
like even if we go and throw down the fastest lap ever, right? If we're, I mean, I think Cam went 1:40 at Buttonwillow, right? Like, if we go and throw that down, if we match Cam, right? Just not saying it would ever happen, but if it were to happen, is the phone gonna ring and be like, "Hey, we got a ride for you"? No, man, we're old.
No.
So
nope.
I like camping is basically what club racing is for me. It's like we go camping, we
ride motorbikes,
barbecue, and oh, by the way, during the day, there's a little bit of racing going on. Like that's where my head is right now with club racing, and it's just fun. And you go and you stab your buddy in the neck in the daytime, and then at night you're having a barbecue with them later. That's club racing to me, like that whole camaraderie and barbecuing in the pits. I mean, I remember back when George and Anton were the
oh my goodness, man.
I mean, dude,
oh man,
I mean, we
that
would
was
have
insane.
like 75 people or 80 people in our pit.
Mm-hmm.
And George and Anton would be projecting the MMA fights or the World Superbike
anything,
race, whatever on the site of Pridmore Sim.
Fried rice.
That was awesome. Yeah, bacon fried rice. Never enough of that stuff.
Hell yeah.
But that's what club racing is to me, and it's unfortunate a lot of people don't look at club racing as supposed to be fun, and so like. I mean, we've gone and raced other places, right? I mean, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I mean, I did AFM a little bit, and I did MRA, and then CVMA and WSMC and all of that. And, there's elements of that camping thing I'm talking about at all those clubs, right? So, I mean, I think that's, most of club racing most of club racers don't have professional racing aspirations. If they did, they wouldn't be so many people over 40 racing, right? So, I don't know, just my personal.
I think you should look at the motorcycle as a learning opportunity too, right? Like, I think that the one thing that I loved about being in a racing environment is to really understand the nomenclature of a motorcycle, truly understand it. Like, if you don't understand the physics and the geometry and all of the components of suspension, that's always going to be an ongoing effort to get good at it. But you should actually have a really base level knowledge of that, or you should probably wait.
I don't understand any of that stuff. I joke with the shop all the time. Those guys, like, they make fun of me actually, and I've created memes because of it, right? Where I'm basically a moron when it comes to working on bikes, and I don't want to work on them. I just want to ride them. I don't need to know that. I just like, hey, the bike's doing this, fix it.
Hey, Jake, just so you know,
you have people
Dustin has people that fix things for him. That's not your world, Jake. Okay, so just go ahead and delete that file.
You're spoiled.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, Jake.
man.
Actually, at our track day, Jake moved up to the A group this past time, and
Nice.
he was moving pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I also think it was eye-opening for him.
Yep.
I mean, I know I went by him a couple of times, and like, I think A group is where he should be, but it definitely, I think it was a wake-up call for him. I think Jake's coming out with us on the 14th. He's going to hang with us a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
get comfortable in the A group and stuff before you come out and start trying to race too. Be comfortable with people passing close and all that other stuff as well.
Well, that's why I was doing it to him.
Yep.
To get ready, like, hey, Jake, this is what it's going to be like, maybe.
Yeah, because racing, there's gonna probably be contacts, so.
Dude,
And,
not everybody races a 250, okay? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be contact.
So bad.
I mean,
Especially when you're all barreling into turn one right after the start.
Oh,
that's when it gets hairy, dude.
Yep.
Right.
Meat grinder at the start. Oh, yeah.
Meat grinder.
So, you know what? Let's see here. What else do we got here? So Jeff, you got Olin's stuff on your MT, right? Like you definitely got the legit forks and everything on that thing.
Yep.
What's up with that?
Well, I mean, obviously you and I had several conversations about it. You know, we were talking about what Dustin and I were talking about was the value, right? So when you buy Olin suspension and you buy Olin's forks, obviously you're committing yourself probably $1,000 more for the front end. But we also know that when you buy internals, you have to have those internals installed. And if you want to keep them, if you sell the bike, you have to uninstall those internals and get somebody to install the old internals. So my R1 that I recently sold that you guys are aware of, I went with Olin's internals and Olin's rear shock. Well, long story short, by the time I was selling the bike and I couldn't find anybody really in San Diego that did suspension that was close enough to make it worth my while. So I ended up selling the bike with the internals. So the lesson that I learned was I'd rather spend a little bit more for Olin's and be able to take the entire fork tube off and put the old stock fork tube back in, sell that bike and sell that Olin's. And once I did the arithmetic, that's how I came up with the Olin's, because I just found that all of my bikes I've sold with the internals when I've done internals, and I've never been able to sell them. And you and I all know that being on the call, you put Olin's or Penske or, you know, any of that really high level suspension on the internet, and you've got a decent bike like a Yamaha, a late model Yamaha, it's gone. It's gone in a day. I sold my bike in 2 days, right? My bike was a 2015. So, you know, the reality is I put the Olin's on, but the experience unfortunately wasn't as good or as smooth as it could be, because when the Olin's came out of the box, long story short, Dustin, I'm not sure if I shared this with you, it was the Olin's basically has, I think, a total of, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if it's like 19 clicks of like compression and rebound on the rear shock. So my rear shock had no compression, no rebound. So when Mike put it in, he did the sag, adjusted the sag. I wasn't able to ride when Mike was there. Mike left the next day. So I got back on the bike. I rode it and the bike felt like shit. No, excuse my language, but I was like, what? Did I just spend this money on suspension and the bike feels horrible? So basically when the Olin's, when you're turning the rebound and the compression on the Olin's rear shock, if you're turning right, it just keeps turning. So if you don't know when that last turn that actually does anything is, there's no indicator, it doesn't stop. So basically we weren't in the middle. So then when I called Mike, he's like, well, if you take the suspension and you go all the way closed and you go 11 from closed on compression and 13 from closed on rebound, that's the stock setting. And once I had done that and counted backwards, I was basically no rebound, no compression whatsoever. And then of course, at this point, I'm trying to ride. So I'm asking different people, you know, hey man, can you take a look at my suspension? I'm not going to mention any names, but I was trying to get people that obviously run shops or whatever, you know, I'm like, hey, can you take a look at this? It doesn't feel good. You know, they're over there like counting the clicks and they're going back. I'm thinking they know what's going on, but really they're just so far out that my suspension still isn't on. So when they do that, I'm still out and the bike is just pogoing. And I was like, nah, dude, I'm done. I put my bike away because you know what? That's what an OG does. And I was like, I'm done, man. So I was like, let me just go help Dustin break down. Let me go hang out with Chill in the pits. You know, that was it, you know, because we know that's what I love about being an OG at Track Days. We've done so many laps that it's not important. That's what I love about our staff. We don't really have a problem because we're like, dude, I'm good, dude. I don't have to do any laps, man, right? We'll do our little brisk laps in the morning. We might do, you know, 100 miles real quick in 3 sessions back to back. And then we're good to this work, you know, I'm cool. So thank God for that, because I didn't try to ride through it. And then when I rode it, I adjusted the suspension, went down the street. There's like a little curvy road over by Paula. So I just went there up and down. I was like, oh, that's it. Feels great. So I'm looking forward to the 14th. I was going to go to Let's Ride because Mike was going to be there and I was going to have Mike just kind of double check some things. But once I wrote it, I was like, good. I'm not going to spend any money going to Let's Ride. You know,
well,
even though it's
the
free.
thing is, I think Mike adds, you know, a lot of people in Santa Cruz area, right? I think they're doing some evacuations up there due to fires. So Mike was unable to make that event because of the fire evacuation.
Oh, dude, that is so cool that I didn't go now. Oh my God, I've been pissed, dude. Because I would have gone. I was going to go there just because he was there, dude. Because he wasn't going to be at the 14th event. So I was like,
I think I said that to you in my text.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Hey, and Jeff, what size chain does your bike have?
Yeah, dude.
525. Oh my God, dude. That is the downside of being an OG right there, right? We know so much from our experience.
530.
Yeah, we're not even thinking. I was like, go get a 530 chain. And thank God, dude, we figured that one out, dude. I was like, dude, you're an idiot. I was like, 525 is the stock chain, dude. I was like, dang, dude. That was a that was a boo-boo on my part for sure.
Yeah,
but thank God I never wrote it.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
yeah. Thankfully, you didn't find a master link for that, but yeah, I mean, that's hilarious.
And that's another thing about motorcycling, that you're always constantly being like humbled a little bit, right? Because you're like the OG, so you kind of, and you're not really thinking cocky, but you're thinking, man, I've been around the block, I know a lot, right? And we all know back in the day, a stock bike was a 530 chain, right? So I'm like,
even
I want to roll.
Even our old 600s back in the day had a 530.
Yeah, 530, dude. So I went and got a 530.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that they would give you a 525 on a stock bike, especially on an MT10, dude.
Right.
There you go. Right. I mean, that was one of those lessons. I was like, shit.
And knowing's half the battle, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Advancements in technology. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
Keep up with
So
it.
my lesson now is I will always check. I don't care what knowledge I bring to the table, what I know about old bikes. At this point, dude, if I'm doing anything on my bike, I'm double checking.
I mean, look, anybody that's seen me attempt to put a rear wheel on R1 or an R6 knows that what Jeff said is totally true, right?
Yeah, you go like Matt Hornshoe. Jimmy, snap your fingers. Put on that tire.
Down and laughing like, oh, here we go. But I mean, even still, like I'll eventually able to get it going. But I mean, there's one of us on this call that attempted to use a pair of needle nose pliers as spring puller. So, oh yeah, like just picture this: you got needle nose pliers, and you're pulling towards yourself on an exhaust spring, and then what happens? It slips and stabs you in the forehead, right, Chili?
Chili, yeah.
We're not mentioning any
so
names.
I was working on the TL, and I was pulling the spring puller, and I didn't have a spring puller, so I grabbed a pair of needle nose pliers, and Dustin just sat back like, okay, and just watched. He's like, he knew something was gonna fucking happen. He just sat back and watched, and I was pulling it, and just bing, oh shit! So blood started dripping from my head, and then Dustin was like, hey, Chili, wait, I gotta take a picture of this first. So he took a picture of it. Thank God that picture got deleted off of his server or some shit when it got hacked at some point.
Yeah.
And
I
I still hear the story all the time.
He didn't get hacked because the pocket bike was on that same goddamn hard drive.
Oh shit, the pocket bike.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is a video, dude.
Yeah,
Wow.
dude.
I could share my screen right quick.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
Do it.
You have to share it. Please do it.
Yeah, thank God I know you don't have the picture of my bloody freaking forehead, so I'm good.
No, but I do have the pocket bike.
Pocket bike, yes.
Damn it.
Stand by. Stand by.
Hey, what else you got, man? In any type of question?
You know what? Jake wants to know. He wants to know what's good advice you could give someone to like get them to slow down in the hills. After they've had a nasty crash, and you're trying to get them to experience the track. Like, how can you evangelize? I guess the track
Without going overboard. Yeah, I kind of get where he's coming from, because a lot of our buddies would take that type of conversation as a you're going to hurt yourself as a parent, blah blah blah, whatever, and it isn't, man. And only when you do see what we have seen do you kind of put two and two together, and sometimes you don't, but the biggest thing would be to get his buddy, do whatever you need to do. Tell him you got a line on a horse, and tell him you need $200, and get himself a track day for whatever it is, and get him out there. And that's pretty much what's going to help. I'm not going to say it's going to do it, but it will most definitely help.
Yeah, once they experience their first track day,
get an addict to stop doing drugs, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you kind of can't stop until you're ready, right? So
yeah, but once they do their first track day and they see the difference between that and riding in a canyon with the cliffs and the guardrails and, you know, the oncoming traffic and all the rest of that crap, dude, it's like night and day. They'll actually see it for themselves.
You know, let me pitch in a little bit because this is something that I always run into it on pages and posts and stuff. There's always like, oh, like these track riders don't ride street and it's completely bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you for experience, I commute every day on my motorcycle. I do 2 ups with my wife. I go to the racetrack all the time with these guys. I do ride canyons. I am not going to the popular ones because they're overcrowded with too many factors that can potentially endanger me. And I've dealt with many of those stuff, and we talk about losing people and stuff, and also not about losing someone. It's also I don't like having to be the one that has to help someone that is like, I mean, I love helping people, but I don't like to see that scene and then it throws you off, mess up with your brain for the rest of the day. But it's the approach that you give to the atmosphere and the elements that you are around. If you go to the canyons, hey, keep yourself in mind that there's people coming on the opposite way. There's people making U-turns. There's like gravel. There's maybe somebody was leaking oil the morning before you show up. There's a rider that might run wide and go head on into you. There's so many factors, and you have to treat things accordingly. You don't want to go balls out and you know, try to drag your elbow on a turn, and you're just pushing that boundary. They're pushing and taking those chances, and you eventually you're gonna get hurt. I speak about myself. Like 10 years ago, I had a nasty crash on the crest because I was riding cocky out of my head and thinking I was like the fastest motherfucker out there, and I was passing people, and all of a sudden I low-sided onto a rail guard. And it's not pretty. Like, luckily nothing happened to me. I get up, and then you look around, you see your bike in pieces. There's nobody out there to help you. The sun is going down. You have to walk down the hill until you find someone to give you a ride, and then God forbid you're injured. I mean, chances are you don't get picked up, nobody helps you, and you can have like internal bleeding or something, you know. Point is, you want to go to the racetrack. There's this myth that, oh, I'm going to go to the racetrack, I'm going to go crash. That makes absolutely no sense, because there's runoffs, there's no traffic, there's nothing out there that can actually make you crash, as all those hazards that I found on the street every morning. I have people doing their makeup, like doing on the phone, like swerving in and out, and you know, you just have to be aware of where you are and ride accordingly. I'm not against canyons, but I am against riding like an idiot in the canyons. You know, there's a way.
Dude, I see it all the time when I'm up there on my bicycle.
Exactly, you know.
But then again, you know, 20 some years ago, I was one of those morons.
We've all been there, you know, and
we've all been there.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Gil, you don't ride like that. I mean,
no, bro.
I saw you recently up there, and before I saw you, I saw a bunch of clowns. And, you know, I mean, it's like, you know, you see people crossing the double yellow in the corner. You see people like basically trying to, like, at least me on the bicycle in the shoulder, right? Like, I see people trying to purposely be real close to me.
Yeah.
But then I've actually been up there and I've seen people crash when I'm on the bicycle. And it's like, you know, I go and help them, and I don't tell them who I am or anything like that. And, you know, I just like, hey man, I hope you're okay. This and that. They have no idea that
you ride motorcycles.
We do what we do, right? So it's like, hey man, maybe we'll see you at the track. I just kind of casually throw that out there, and they're like, oh, cool.
Hey, Dustin, I wanted to take it to another area if I could. I know that we always are kind of at tech, you know, the whole group, and we come up with these really cool ideas, but we never really have a forum where we can really kind of talk about some of them, where maybe we could get burnt as a track day organization. And I know that Matt has brought this up. Chili, you brought this up. I think Gil brought it up a couple times. We talked about the stickers, right? And what someone can do creatively if they actually wanted to get another bike on the track, or they do the 2-bike thing, and all of a sudden, you really can't keep track of who really should be at the track, who's really registered and who's not. And what is that financial exposure to the TrackDaz organization if we don't seal that up?
Yeah, I think I think it could be pretty significant, trying to explain in court why that guy was there, right? Like, what do you mean that person's out on, you allowed that person out? Yeah, so, I think having Lily step up on registration side with that, and, have the customer, if they have 2 bikes, let registration know. So that way it can be made note of prior to, if somebody sneaks in, I mean, it's kind of on them. Like I've seen evidence of that in some court stuff. It's like, you knowingly snuck in, you did bad stuff to like get in, and then you end up hurt. Like, that's kind of on you. I've even heard of that, like people sneaking in at the gate, like hiding.
Wow.
Hiding in the back or whatever, so they don't have to pay the $10 or whatever.
$10.
Wow.
At the gate. So
Crash club in the gate.
hopefully those people don't ride with us.
Yeah.
Bottom line, again, if we catch them, they're done, right?
Yep.
One-way conversation.
And even probably blackballed from the rest of other orgs.
Yeah. I mean, I know.
Not worth the risk.
Some of the orgs are better at that than others, but I mean, you kind of fuck with one of us, you fuck with us all, right? So,
we're all a mob, right?
Yeah. So,
the families have gotten together.
Yeah.
What can we do as a team with red flags? What can we? I know there's probably, this question is obviously a hypothetical because it might be nothing, right? But like, for an example, I attempted to challenge people with not having a red flag during the day, and I almost think exacerbated it, right? So we had that one day, and it was just like soon as people went out. What do we feel as a group?
I think honestly, dude, because we've been doing it so long. I mean, we, every now and then we get a day like that. I mean, it's like, it depends on who shows up. I mean, that particular event, we had a waiting list of 200 people. Right. So it's like when everybody wants to come out and, everybody ends up getting out at some point. A lot of people didn't because they couldn't get in. But, when you have a super popular event like that, you never know who's going to show up. And we had a lot of customers we'd never even seen before. Right. So, when you have a day like that, you're going to get people like that. And every now and then you'll have a day like that. But I mean, all the other days that we had all year long, we had no problems. I mean, I think at Laguna, we did one Laguna day that had nothing. Then we had another Laguna weekend where I think we had a bunch of mechanicals and a few crashes, right? So, I mean, it's,
You know what? It's funny you brought that up, Jeff, because one of the things I have noticed, and if you kind of have to step back and take a look at it, when we take a bike back to the pit, the majority are to a group of guys in that pit, 5 to 7 to 10. And it's usually, I'm going to get you this one. Yeah, you're not this, and this. And then you take it back, you take them back and, they're like concerned about the dude, and then they're razzing the guy, but when I have done the crash truck, I have noticed that on the red flag. Once in a while, I'll see like a single rider and, maybe his buddy there. But the majority that I have seen has always been to a garage filled with people, to a pit filled with people.
The group's trying to show each other up.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Also, I mean, we do spend quite a bit of time setting up those cones and stuff. Like when people follow the cone deal, like we generally don't have to pick them up. But
dude, that is a huge plus.
Egomaniac type of stuff where they're trying to like get bragging rights for their group or whatever, like that. That kind of helps fuel that.
Right.
That Jeff's talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, Yeah, it's hard, man. It's the equation that we don't really know the answer to. You know what? Like I said, we got semi-private event stuff, like that 14th thing. Like, I mean, that's sort of a throwback event, right? I mean, back in the day, it was like 2 groups, 30-minute sessions. You remember, Jeff, when you were writing checks for your entries, mailing them in.
Writing checks.
Yeah, nobody does that anymore. But yeah, Jeff did.
I did.
I think Chili
Quite
did
a bit.
too, actually. Chili paid a check too back then.
How many of them bounced?
Nah, it cleared, dude.
No, those are the ones that Mominator signed off on. The ATM card that didn't work, remember?
Sure.
It was demagnetized.
That was a dinner. That was a dinner, dude.
And parking at the forum. Right?
Yes.
Hey Matt, I want that shirt, dude. That is hysterical. I just noticed it for the first time. I was like, oh, he's doing the dare, and I was like, drugs are really expensive. That's hilarious, dude.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Hey, so have you guys seen Moto America's racing this weekend at the Ridge?
Yeah.
And
Seen the advertisement.
that track's actually kind of new to most of the people that are going to race there this weekend. I know that the Attack Yamaha guys and the M4 guys tested there like a month ago, I think, and then I think Rocco tested there, but I don't know how many other people tested there. I did see that Ashton Yates announced that he's not going to go. I guess they're going to only do one super stock race, and he didn't feel it was worth it to drive from Georgia to Washington for one race on the thing. So what do you guys think of Moto America racing at a new track?
Well, that's always exciting. Like, remember when they did that documentary when MotoGP came to Laguna Seca for like the first time since like forever, and everyone was like still trying to figure out that track? That's what it's gonna, like, to me, it's gonna seem like. It's like, oh man,
the equalizer.
Like, exactly, it's the equalizer. Like,
who's
gonna be able to
I don't know. I think
quickest.
wasn't Bobier doing testing? I don't know if it's gonna be equalizer. It's gonna be Bobier running away again, dude.
Bobier runs away anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Was,
I do this fast.
A second faster than everybody.
Yeah, I was watching the races. I was struggling getting excited for the races. Unfortunately, it does suck when there's just one guy just beating the daylights out of everybody, dude. It's like, it's hard to watch, and I love watching racing.
When I was there, I was on track with those guys, and I did actually firsthand get to watch Bobby and Tony figuring the place out too. And I think they made some changes to those guys' bikes to make them better. So I'm hoping to see those guys kind of get closer. And I know Jake was learning and going, like, Jake had kind of been there before, except for the chicane thing. That thing's kind of new spot on the track. I've actually done a couple of Zoom calls with a couple of super sport racers, kind of walking them through what I saw. And, we did like a screen share thing with a YouTube video. But yeah, I mean, it's a little different. Like, that track's got a lot of weird elevation stuff and, like, Lombard Street, San Francisco kind of stuff.
So when are we going, D?
Dude, I would love to go back there.
Road trip, dude. Road trip.
Road trip. Let's do it.
No more asking permission.
You know what? Maybe we call up Ken Hill. I know he does this stuff up there. Maybe we call him up and see if we can kind of do like a bro deal or something with him.
That'd be fun.
Nobody's in trouble with him, are they?
Like, do like a semi-private thing or something up there to where we're not there with a bunch of people. We're there with just like maybe half of what normal is or whatever. That'd be kind of neat. And I was talking to those Apex dudes too, like Richard, the bearded wonder guy, and Ty and Norton, whatever, Anthony Norton. We were talking smack before the end of CVMA last year about doing a road trip to the Ridge, and then I ended up going up there with Richard.
That's awesome.
The attack team. But yeah, I mean, it would be kind of cool to get like a track day staff, kind of like us, the Apex dudes, like this, like all.
What about maybe like all of our loyal customers, like an invite only thing?
Yeah, dude, that'd be kind of neat too, man.
Yeah,
kind of neat too. Jake saying, dude, we should do track days at the Ridge. Yeah, no, dude. No.
And Laguna's far enough, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just, to go up and try to sell an event from out of town like that is already difficult. And then, I mean, lessons learned in life where we've tried to do out of towny stuff before, and then we end up a small fortune. So, like anybody remember Miller? Like
Miller.
Miller.
Oh my God.
That was a huge dent.
And man, it was like a 25 grand hit, and I don't know. I would much rather just go there and get to ride, not have to do any work.
Worry and babysit them for sure.
Hey, brother.
Guys.
Well, real quick, man, I'm gonna have to bounce. My pork chops are ready, so
right.
I'm gonna head
All right,
out.
pork chop.
Good
hanging
Bill,
with you guys.
Who do you think is anybody gonna beat Morocco this weekend?
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay, how about Cameron? Is Cameron gonna get dethroned from Superbike?
Dude,
No.
there'd have to be trouble.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's that Doyle kid that's going good on the little bike that could give Rocco a run in that particular class, but I don't know if he tested at the Ridge, and I know Rocco has been there a bunch. So
That's it. It.
And he's been doing the rookie thing and getting his butt kicked, so he's probably ready to
gain experience.
Probably pissed off.
Right?
All right, homies, take it easy.
All right, Gil.
See you, Gil.
All right, Gil, take care.
You too.
Yeah,
Same here,
so,
dudes. I'm gonna get going too.
Oh, you're gonna bail? Okay,
Yeah.
We're over.
It was great seeing you and talking to you guys. Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of
man.
fun.
Yeah, Rob.
Hey,
care, guys.
keep it on 2 wheels, Rob.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right,
The only
guys.
one to crash at 1 mile an hour.
Yeah.
I
We're,
know.
I still have.
Thank you for that.
Pocket bike video queued up if we want to watch that real quick.
Oh, heck yeah.
Hell
I mean,
yeah,
people
dude.
are roasting everyone.
Oh,
Hey, as long as
really,
there's no
dude?
blood on my
Let's
forehead,
post,
we're
you know,
good.
That. Oh, it's like that. Oh, okay, it's like that. Oh man, I thought we was moving on from that.
Oh, no,
I
no,
thought
no,
we was
cue it up.
moving on.
Cue it up, dude.
All right.
I was gonna bounce, but you got the video ready. I'm gonna stay now.
I was gonna bounce. I should have bounced with the rest of the guys. Oh, here we go. See this?
Oh!
Oh,
All right.
Oh, dude.
So, should I
First of all,
too? Because
can
it sounds kind of funny too.
oh my
No,
God.
you got it. We'll be
You
quiet.
got it.
All right, stand by. Here it goes.
God, you know that video is old, dude, by the pixelation. Look at the media center, dude. The media center's not even built yet, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It's not even built. They were just breaking ground on the media center, dude.
Yeah.
I have to tell you what happened with that pocket bike. There's two things that happened that you don't know about. First of all, I went and I brought a whole bunch of people to Dustin's track day. I brought like a shit ton, dude. I had
the rider truck, right?
Dude, I had like a shit ton that I brought to Dustin's track day, right? So I got this whole group of guys, just like we all used to ride in the canyons. I literally evangelized track days and had 9 dudes from Salinas coming in, dude. So we show up, dude, and they already knew that bike didn't have the front brake didn't work on that bike. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm just being stupid. We had a great day. Nobody really crashed or anything, so I get on the pocket bike, I'm riding, and they're not even telling me, dude, there's no brake on this bike, dude, right? So I'm riding down there being stupid. I'm screaming, coming down a little paddock, dude. And then I grab the front brake and it doesn't stop, right? So I'm like, all right, dude, you gotta keep riding. So I'm like, okay, well, just turn. Of course, I got a size 12.5 foot sitting off like duckbill, right? And I turned, dude, and as soon as I turned, dude, it just grabbed my foot and just high-sided me. And I have never lived that thing down. That has got to be 20 years ago, dude. It's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago, bro.
It was. It's epic.
Jeez. Is that insane?
That was 20 years ago because the Buttonwillow media center snack bar thing wasn't done yet. That's how old that was.
Yeah.
Dude, is that sane, dude? I mean, I not only mentioned, you can see from my leathers, those were the old Techniques leathers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Off the shelf Techniques, baby.
Well,
I thought those leathers were the bomb when I got those things, dude. I matched my motorcycle.
When we first started doing the track days thing, I think our first event, they didn't even have the media center. It was like a there's like it looks like a portable trailer just past the office. I think that was there for the quote unquote tower back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it took them a few years to build that, and it's pretty nice. It's.
I love Button Willow, dude. I'm always gonna be a big fan of
Yep,
Button
that's
Willow.
actually one of my favorite tracks too.
My favorite track.
Yeah.
I love it because it's not easy. It's a track that you're not gonna come over there and just master it, dude. It's got some weird characteristics to it. You gotta love those tracks because they're weeder courses. People come out there, and I think that's why we do see on times we see a lot of wrecks, man, because people just think they know it after 3 laps, and you're like, all right, dude.
Well, one of the things people make the mistake of, and they do it at Chuckwalla too, is they kind of try to focus trying to be fast in the slowest part of the racetrack.
Turn 2.
So like at Button Willow, I mean, I don't even want to begin to think about how many people I've picked up in turn 2.
What
right?
turn? What turn?
Yeah.
Turn 2, brother. Turn 2.
The same
Jake,
thing,
turn 2. Don't worry about it.
Both directions, it's a Garcia Hill thing. Like, I don't know why people focus so much on the slowest part of the racetrack, but when they do, they end up trying to go fast there. At turn 2, they rush the corner, throttle up too soon as the pavement starts to go away, and off camber a little bit there, and they high side themselves. And I've got many stories of picking up dudes, and it's like, dude, what's your name?
Well, how many times have ad nauseum each one of us?
Yeah, we did have a guy who wasn't there, but we had a guy crash at Button Willow, and he knows who he is. I'm not gonna say his real name, but we're like, dude, what's your name? And I was kind of standing over him, blocking the sun from his face while the med crew worked on him. And they're like, hey, what's your name? And he's like, Michael Jordan.
I am so glad that me and Chili were working the crash truck, dude.
Looks up at me like, no shit, this guy's name is Michael. I'm like, no, dude, that's not his name. And
me and Chili wouldn't even been able to pick up the bike as soon as he said Michael Jordan.
Dude,
we would have been rolling.
Yeah, you'd be asking for his autograph.
Every
drop the bike and like, can your autograph?
MJ, like, what's up, jump man? So
right.
It's same thing with Garcia Hill. I mean, there's been everybody kind of goes there and they rush the corner and then they run wide. They got to do this swoopy crap on the other side, or they're going clockwise and they rush the corner and they run wide and they end up out in no man's land,
Yeah, like how many times ad nauseum that you, Chili, LGB, and the rest of the TrackDaz staff where we've said ad nauseum, like go fast in the fast parts, go slow in the slow parts.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Not gonna make up time in the slow parts.
At Button Willow, every now and then I'll get kind of finagled into doing the new rider class, right? Like you guys, Chili does a good job of that. Jeff does a good job of that. I know Ludwig and Tanya too. We haven't seen Tanya in a while, but I get roped into that, and the first thing it's like I take the pen on the whiteboard and just draw a big circle around the slow part and be like, okay, that's the slow part. Go slow there.
Yeah, go slow. Don't worry about it. You're not gonna make up time.
Yeah, when someone asks me hey, how do you get through turn 9 at Chuckwalla or turn 2 at Buttonwell? I'm like, I don't know. I just get through there. There's no whatever I want to take. I don't have a dedicated line I take. Just don't crash. Just go through it. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of get through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan for next year for CVMA, Dustin? And how does CVMA and TrackDaz work together next year? Is that already ironed out?
I mean, CVMA is they've taken over the Fridays for the most part, and I know that they're we're doing B group and C group right now, so I don't know what I basically kind of got to wait to get told how it's going to be. So
what is the point in doing 2 out of the 3 groups and having 2?
Well, no, it's actually 4 groups. There's we do the street type of stuff and they do the race stuff. So there's 2 race practice groups right now.
Are they happening all throughout the day?
Yeah. So it's 20 minutes times 4.
So then
80
they
minutes
go out
in an hour session.
Yeah. Wow. How's that work? How the fuck does that work? I mean, I understand 15-minute sessions, but
well, they start at 8 right? So, we do the writers meeting at 8 for the B and C group people while they're doing racer practice 1 and 2. And then, after that, we're, what is it, 8:40, I guess, our first group goes out, and then C group goes out, and then racer 1 and 2. And I think New Racer School, they're also hosting that too. We don't do that anymore. That one is in Racer Group 2, I think. Racer Group 1 is like the really fast group, and then the Racer 2 is like the kind of fast group. So, I don't know.
So does it end like at a later time,
I think with daylight on our side, I think it does end at a later time. But yeah, like when daylight's not on our side, it basically ends when it ends.
Is it still worth it for track days to do that, or is it
I don't
better
know. I mean, I think for this year, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would like to have the day. I'd like to do the day like we did it for 10 years, but it's not our call, right?
Well, what happens. It's, let me be brutally honest. What happens, all of a sudden that day becomes a very, very easy day to promote. And then all of a sudden, people start putting their hands in there, right? So you get it started, you get that train running, and that train is running, and people are just like, you know what, I'll do that day,
Look, I mean, it's a business for them, right?
That's no doubt.
Their sample. No doubt. So, like we just kind of
yeah.
ride the wave and see what happens,
Yeah. Yeah, but it's hard. It's also hard too to put all that effort in to go out there, unless you're racing that weekend, to go out there for 2 sessions, and that's a long haul, especially for Matt, and Jeff. You guys are coming from down south to go out there, for one, for a single day event where you're only doing 2 sessions is not kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's it is what it is, right?
Well, I feel like we're blessed, right? Chuck Wall is an awesome track. And, shout out to Mickey for seeing a dream and getting it there. Shout out to Mickey and Amy, you can just see that they're constantly improving the track. So there's definitely no disrespect intended to those guys or whatever.
Yeah.
I just look at it from just kind of a business perspective.
And, they're growing, doing stuff there. They have their dirt track thing going. And,
yeah, no, I can see that.
The bowl.
Yeah,
I think they've got some other things going on there too, and the member thing is really kind of taking off, and they got
Are they doing that like Pahrump, Nevada type membership?
I don't know about that. I just know that they've sold memberships to the track, and like motorcycle members get X amount of extra days, and they get passes to SoCal stuff, and like they gotta accommodate that too. So. Like however they do it is however they're going to do it, like we're going to do what we do. So, hopefully it works out, and, if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's,
we got to adjust. And I haven't seen the numbers lately, but when CVMA first started, it was a small group. And then over the years, it's just been getting bigger and bigger. And of course, racers want to have their practices. And, racing versus track days, there's a different pace and different mentality, and even you can even say aggression level. And so you need that outlet, or those racers need that outlet in terms of to practice for the races.
Well, that's why we started doing, like when we were running the Fridays, like we started adding hours, like we spent more money on the ambulance and all that, and we would add time. But, there's always a select group that's not going to be happy with anything. So, it is what it is. Like, we're just going to do what we're going to do, and however it works out is however it works out. So,
What's the deal with Button Willow on the new track? Have you got any news on that?
Well, I'm excited for new pavement. I always love riding new pavement. I mean, some of you guys have had the pleasure of being on brand new racetracks. I know Chili got to ride at the Reno track. That was kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
Also, we were at Chuckwalla when it first opened, and I think we were one of the first people when they repaved Button Willow twice, back in 2002, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
We were there like the next day after it was open, and then I know that what, 2014, and they did it again. Like, I think we had the first track day after it. They repaved it. It was awesome. So having new pavement, I know they're pushing dirt around out there. I've been out there and seen it looks pretty cool. Like I drove the layout.
Is there going to be any elevation changes on the second track at Buttonwell?
Yes.
Nice.
There's like, just like what they did at the main track, right? So you've got the man-made elevation. I think there's a banked corner, which is kind of cool. It's not banked like the bowl at Chuckwalla, but it's got a banking to it. And then there's it looks like there's some pretty fast stuff, and then some like first gear stuff. So
nice.
Yeah, it could be interesting. I think Les told me it was 2.5 miles.
Wow.
So,
how many turns? Do you remember? How many turns is the new track?
I don't remember, man. Like I don't remember numbering the corners. I mean, I got a PDF of the layout, and I've been out there on the layout, and it's like we're looking at the map, and it has like a geometrical kind of layout, with the map, right? Geological layout, and it's like, okay, there's Lerdo Highway. Okay, we're on the paddock now, So it's kind of
is the map of
Chili and I drove it. Well, we drove along it.
Drove along Lerdo Highway.
Yeah.
Right.
Is the map the new layout? Like, is it already out on the internet, or is it, for your eyes only, confidential?
I don't know. I got emailed a PDF. You know what I mean?
Okay. But yeah, you got emailed a PDF, but like the rest of the track day running folks.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about it is that how hard it is to build a racetrack in California.
Yeah, like I remember when Chuckwalla was like the news and rumors of Chuckwalla being built. That was nuts. Like everyone was so excited.
Yeah, I remember. Mickey got delayed too. Like he initially wanted to open, I think, in 2009, and there was some kind of permit, or I don't know, some kind of Riverside County nonsense that he had to go through, and it delayed him almost a year.
Yeah.
And Les has been getting delayed, and then the Corona thing hit, and that delayed the last permit even longer, So, seeing that stuff, it's, dude, like apparently from what I've been told, this is like no BS. Like I think the racetrack's layout was dictated by a fucking rat.
like the preservation of a rat?
No,
like,
dude. Yeah. So like apparently a GKR, giant
kangaroo rat or some shit.
Giant kangaroo rat? Okay.
Yes. Apparently there's like some kind of they even had to carve out like they had to like pay
a habitat preserve or something.
There's a habitat, like a GKR reservation or something in the middle of the layout. I shit you not. I was like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, I guess the track, it couldn't go this way because there might be a GKR there.
Yeah.
So
well, potential runoff. Like, what if someone runs off track?
Is
it like really far out there?
So, got plenty of runoff, all that.
See you, Chili.
Hi, man.
Okay, cool.
See you guys. See you,
yeah.
D.
So the GKR thing, it's I don't know, man. Like the track looks wide. It looks like there's plenty of runoff. I mean, it looks like a modern racetrack. It's just, it's just kind of funny that the layout of the thing and the course direction too. I guess, because of the way the layout was forced, the course direction was now like kind of one way, it looks like. So that's kind of unfortunate there, but yeah, it's new pavement coming, so it's always exciting.
When do they plan on opening that up, or when's it going to be?
Well, I mean, how long does it take to pave and build a racetrack, right?
Yeah.
They started a month ago, right? So, Bob's your uncle.
What was the compelling event to build a second track at Buttonwillow? Because I just don't see the justifying volume.
Well, I can tell you exactly why. I'll tell you exactly why. It makes sense. It makes complete sense. And Mickey's going through this at Chuckwalla too, is that there's only so many weekends. There's only so many weekends available in a year. And, say you've got 50 weekends that you could use, and maybe you could use actually, because of holidays and shit, maybe you could use 48 of them or something, right? So, but you've got 150 clubs that want weekends. Makes sense, right?
It does.
I mean, you know, like if you can potentially, like once you've booked all your weekdays and you've booked all your weekends, and like, can you grow your business anymore if you've already at capacity?
Well, do you think, because when this new track gets built, do you think like what year was it, where there was that time where there's all these different track day companies, and then, you know, a few years pass and a lot of them folded? Do you think we might see that trend happen again?
Dude,
because
that's
of that?
never gonna stop. That's never gonna stop. There's always gonna be those dudes that like have the illusion, their delusion of making it rich being a track day guy. You know, there's always that customer base that thinks, wow, oh, sorry about the dog. There's always that customer base that thinks, wow, these guys are getting rich off of this, not realizing that we have day jobs, and, you know, so it just comes with the territory, you know, and rather than getting upset about them running, you know, just kind of step aside and let it happen. And when they go away, you take all their days. Like,
Yeah.
Not going to mention a name of one, but you notice there's a lot more buttonwool days on the calendar this year than there was last year, right?
Well, hopefully you got first dibs on the weekends for when the new track opens up at Buttonwall.
I don't even care, dude. If I add some weekends there, that'd be rad, you know? So, I mean, honestly, you know, we've been doing business there for 20 years, so I'd imagine we're on the list somewhere, you know, but honestly, doesn't even care. Because, like, if we can add some weekends there, like, I mean, it's just adding weekends to our weekday schedule, you know, like having more weekends would be awesome. And then Jeff could do his band thing at night and all of that. So, I mean, we've been only talking about Jeff doing a comedy show or something, or bringing his band for 15 years. You know, like back when Jeff was doing the Jimmy Buffett tour.
Yeah,
that's Jimmy good. Buffett band, you can admit it.
Yeah, I got to draw the line somewhere, dude. Jimmy Buffett. Oh no, probably not.
You did it though.
Yeah, I would. Because the money was right. I'd play anything if the money was right, dude. You know, because I'm telling you, some of these guys that you would never know are making like $10,000 a night. Okay. Dude, you know, it's so funny. The other day, this rich guy, it was probably like 3 years ago. I'm sure you heard this, Matt, when the Rolling Stones came to the Belly Up. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not.
Dude, it was just some rich dude, It was some rich dude, and he paid the Rolling Stones $1 million to come play at the Belly Up.
Wow.
Really?
$1 million.
That's insane.
Insane, dude. Can you imagine those guys just breaking it out into 4 ways and just splitting out the $1 million? Oh, that was hard to. God.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Any sense, dude? But I mean, obviously they're band.
You know.
Yeah, and it was a dude, and a dude threw a private party. It was like a private party, dude. You know.
Let's go superbike racing, bro. Like.
Yeah. Can you lend me some money for tires, bro? I mean, if it's like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. That'd be cool, but no. But anyway, guys, like we're way over an hour on this.
Yeah.
I don't even know if anybody's watching or cares. But
who cares, man? It's like we're just us guys, you know, having fun, catching up.
And Jake says he's still in shock that you rock out like that.
What's that?
He says he wants to jam with you someday.
Oh, Jake plays an instrument?
I don't know, I guess.
What does Jake play?
Oh no, he wants to hear you jam one day. That's
okay. Yeah, absolutely, Jake. I'll let you know when my band comes out next for sure.
Oh yeah, you're gonna bring the drum kit in your toy hauler.
Right?
Right?
No, one day we're doing the band thing, dude. I'm telling you, I think it'll be awesome. We do like an anniversary where we have a barbecue and we have a nice party.
TrackDaz is 20 years old this year, man. Like
wow. See, we might want to think about that in November, dude.
Yeah.
As established 2000.
Oh yeah. Oh, we might want to think about that, D. Throw a big party, dude, and just have like a barbecue, music. You know what I could do too? That would be cool because, you know, there's so many people that are like closet musicians that are in the track day. I can not only have my band, but I can host an open jam, dude, and people love that, dude.
That'd
you know,
be
if they can get up and play, oh my God, dude, you'd have people, and it's fun to watch.
Not only that, but like you remember, we were also talking about doing like the roast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The roast the TrackDaz Crew.
Yeah, we could do that for sure, dude.
So, all right, fellas. Well,
all right, fellas.
Talk.
All right, Matt, Dustin, take care, fellas.
All right, guys.
All right, later.
See you guys.
Enjoyed. Watch the video, subscribe, all that. Thanks.